Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Roshan Ramnarayan and welcome back to the classroom, where it's you, me and my trusty whiteboard going through matters of the body, mind, heart and spirit in a relatively easy to understand format. Today's talk, super simple, but something that we can all relate to, something that we all struggle with, even myself at times. Today we're going to talk about how do we build a healthy habit. So the reason why I decided to talk about this was because a big part of my library of talks and lectures centers around the actual building of healthy habits and changing bad habits into good habits. And the feedback I've been getting so far, people have been saying, well, Doc, it sounds really good, but it's so hard to do. I don't know how to even begin sleeping better or de-stressing, or it's just so difficult. My life is so full. And so I decided now to actually talk about how I myself go through the process of building a healthy habit and the sequence of events that has to happen in order for it to be successful. So to build a healthy habit, it must begin with a desire. Now, I know people say desire is bad, but in this case, desire is excellent. We need to have a desire or a will or motivation, or essentially, we want to change. We want something. We want to achieve a goal. We want to be able to do something. And every single habit that we have began with a desire. Both good and bad. And so in order to be able to build a healthy habit, whether it's better sleeping habits, whether it's a better diet, more exercise, more meditation, better interpersonal relationships, it must begin with a desire for that. For me, personally, a lot of the time, I sort of draw from the energy of being fed up. So for instance, if there was a particularly demanding part of my life and I was really tired for a long period of time, I sort of get fed up of being tired, and that now helps me to find the desire to change that. If there was a time in my life where I was frustrated and angry all the time, or if there was a time I was relatively unfit and I was overweight, for instance, the power of being fed up is what helps me to find that desire to be able to build those healthy habits. So for me at least, the desire and being fed up of something that was not pleasant is the sort of cornerstone of building that healthy habit. So I encourage you guys, if there's a healthy habit you want to build, write down what that healthy habit is, and most importantly, why. And the why is what is everything, because this person might want to sleep better for a totally different reason than this person. And that reason is what will drive us individually. And so finding that why, that desire, is of and having it crystal clear in our mind is of utmost importance. So, after that desire to change, then comes, to me at least, the fun part. We have to come up with a plan. So I remember in medical school, when I would have gone up a year or started a new course, these courses were really intimidating to begin with. And the system I came up with was the first week where I took this course, all I did was go to class. I didn't study, I didn't spend time, all I did was observe. I tried to get the lay of the land. I tried to get what the course was asking of me. I tried to understand how the lecture teaches. And most importantly, I tried to figure out how do I approach the material to learn. That first week of every single course I had in medical school, that was my planning stage. So once I took that time that first week and I observed the course, I figured out the limitations I might have in terms of learning the material, in terms of the timing, all of that good stuff. And I came up with a plan on how I would approach that particular course material. Do I read more? Do I do group sessions? Do I go to class and take notes? Do I do, whatever it may be. That plan was essentially everything that I banked on. And if I passed or failed that course, would have been up to that plan, if it was a good plan or not. So for instance, taking it back now to our own healthy habits, if I want to start exercising, for instance, well, I want to start exercising because I start to get short breath when I walk upstairs, for instance. That's my why. Well, how? How do I start exercising? I have a full-time job, I have a full-time household, I have kids. How do I start exercising? That's where this plan comes in. So, do I walk for 15 minutes at night on a treadmill? Do I run up and down the stairs of my home for 15 minutes? Do I do 15 push-ups before I go in the shower in the morning? Do I, in between patients, do 5 lunges and 5 squats? That's the plan. And so the plan now, again, is extremely individual to each and every one of us because our lives are different. And so how we go about expressing this desire, how we go about bringing this desire into reality, hinges on the plan. Take your time with this section because this part of the sequence will determine if we succeed or fail. The biggest speed bump that people hit with this is that we sort of overcommit. Well, I want to start exercising, so I'm going to run a 5K every night. I'm going to do 100 push-ups every day. And perhaps we can do that for a couple of days, but we tend to burn out and we tend to fizzle out. And then when the sort of unpleasantness of running a 5K every day hits us, our desire evaporates. And then the healthy habit fails. And so my advice is, in this section, we think long term. We think, okay, I want to start exercising. I'm going to do 10 push-ups before I shower. I'm going to do 10 squats and lunges during my lunch break at work. And when I get home at night, I'm going to walk for 15 minutes. And I'm going to do this 3 times a week. Seems doable. 10 push-ups, that's a minute or two. 10 squats, 10 lunges, minute or two, 15 minutes walk in the evening. 3 times a week. Seems doable. And then now, with that plan, we extrapolate that. So that's week 1. Week 2, we bump it up now to 11. Week 3, 12 push-ups, 15 minutes walk, half an hour walk, and we change accordingly. So with the plan, we have short, medium, and long-term plans, all within that. And that will help us to be able to progress steadily. And once we start progressing, we get the enthusiasm, we see the results. And make no mistake, guys, the results usually begin to manifest somewhere here. It very rarely manifests here. So in this section, this is where you look for your results. Don't look for it here, because if we start looking for results here, we will say the plan failed too early, and we will abandon it. Look for it here. So after the plan comes not the most difficult, but it begins now the difficult part. Oop, wrong color. We have to execute the plan. Execute. So this is where the hard part comes in, because the desire is very easy. We wake up every day with, I want to do this, I want to do that. These thoughts coming all the time. The planning stage for me is fun because we get to brainstorm, we get to talk to people, we get to ask expert opinions, we get to, maybe this is the part where we buy the new shoes, the new running shoes. We go and buy some equipment. This is the part that's fun. This part, however, is where the grind begins. This is where we have to call upon discipline versus motivation. So, because we have to now, over days, weeks, and months, be consistent. Over days, weeks, and months, we have to continuously remind ourselves of why. Remember that? Remember I went back to, I'll write it down here actually. Why? This is ultra important because every day you wake up, you have to remind yourself why you are doing this. Because this is very personal. This healthy habit is really to benefit you. It's extremely personal. And every day you wake up, you remind yourself why. It gives you the ability to execute this. I want to talk a little bit about discipline versus motivation because they are both a source of fuel that helps us to be able to execute the plan. However, I'm not a big fan of motivation. Motivation, at least again, to me, motivation is us doing something when we feel like doing it, when we are motivated to do it. Discipline, however, is us doing something even if we don't feel like doing it. I wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, the sun is a beautiful weather, light breeze, I go in for my run, no problem at all. I wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, the place dark, it's raining, the bed very warm. Oh, all right, you know what? I remember why I'm doing this. Let me lace up my boots and go for my run. That's the difference. That's the difference, guys. Discipline. You see this here? This here, I can't emphasize this enough. This here is really, 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 really important. Why we're doing it, short, medium, long term, and execute it using discipline. Now, here's the thing. This is the beauty. This is the beauty of that healthy habit. At the end of this, when we reach the long-term goal, we would have developed a healthy habit. Great, I'm exercising now. Happy days, congratulations. But here is the beauty. The discipline that you would have developed, you would have had to develop in the course of pursuing this healthy habit, that discipline could be carried forward into the next project. The discipline doesn't just disappear, guys. Building one healthy habit gives us the ability to keep that why in our mind. It gives us the ability to create good quality plans, and it gives us the ability to find that discipline within us. That first win builds the second win. The second win builds the third, and it cumulatively goes up, and it becomes easier and easier and easier. The first win is always the hardest win. Believe me when I say that. This here will not leave you. I promise you that. I promise you that. This, what you built from the first win, will carry over to every other win after that. This is the beauty. So as much as we're building that first healthy habit and we got the win, the amount of personal growth that we would have had to do to be able to develop this, we will move on to bigger and better things in the future and to every other project that we have. So my hope is, guys, that for all my videos, all my lectures, all the talks that I would have had, the crux of my message is building healthy habits. And I realized from the feedback, I didn't share with you guys how to build a healthy habit. So for that, I apologize. Consider this my apology letter with love. And so if there's any questions, any concerns, shoot me a comment. And as always, if there's any video requests, you can leave a comment. I try to answer each and every single comment. So until then, guys, class dismissed.